Alright, welcome back to Shoot Retro. I'm Hunter, and you have found my corner of the internet where I am talking about film, sharing all the film I go out and shoot, and then, sparking conversations from that. So today, I got 4 rolls back from the darkroom. So we are going to do a live, well, this is going to be uploaded later, but my reaction will be live to my work. The goal of this, right, is to be critical, but also just purely enjoying what I went out and shot. So we're going to be looking at 3 rolls of Ektar 100, 1 roll of Portra 400. So I'm really excited to crack on into this. I guess we should just get going. And one thing I will add though is, like, with all of my photography, all my film work, everything on shootretro.com, I really try to show unedited photos. So I'm huge on that. I don't like doctoring up my photos to look like something that's really far removed from what I originally captured. I'm not taking any big shots at any of the digital photographers out there because they do freaking great work, but I've noticed that especially when it comes to Instagram Reels and all those things that you see all this viral content being spun out on, there's a lot of heavily edited work, and that's fine. You're making art, that's cool. It's just not what I like. This is gonna be a live reaction, and I could see the thumbnails right now. And I can kind of make out some of the photos within here. So we're going to start with what I believe is a roll of Portra 400 that, if you remember a few weeks ago, I was up in Providence, Rhode Island. Well, East Providence, Rhode Island. This is the last roll from that trip. I actually had to break up the rolls I sent out simply because of the cost. So this is picture number 1. Wow. So a little off kilter, but that is like just that's Portra. That is Portra 400. That is about as clear and crisp of an image as you could possibly hope for. Zoom in on that. Wow, yeah, that's really zoomed in and nice and crisp. From a composition standpoint, this is nothing fantastic. I think I was just seeing something and decided to shoot. I've been doing a lot of photos lately, and I've just been happening to take pictures of fishermen while they're out doing their thing. This is totally a fad. This is not like any particular project I'm working on. It's just something that ends up happening. So yeah, I think this was just me trying to keep that theme going. So next in line here, I like this a lot more. Whoa, okay, so the graffiti, this is a bench. So the graffiti on this bench is really doing something for me here. It's like the 2 colors that are like, they're really popping off that bench, and it's 3D in effect, but also like that's literally like the color of 3D, like the classic 3D glasses, the blue and the red. I mean, everything is going on here. I didn't even realize this when I took this photo. Is the same colors. Like, it's the blue net, you have the blue graffiti, this scooter that's both blue and red, and wow, there's just a lot of really nice stuff going on there. If I were to post this, I would probably crop in. Now, I know I just said I don't do edits. I will crop in or slightly adjust like the rotation on an image if I feel it's necessary to, like, make the image a little bit more presentable, but this is really nice. I'm a fan of this. I mean, even the drink, even the Starbucks right there. I also just noticed you're probably gonna, in the bottom right, you'll see the activate Windows. I'm using the free version of Windows. I'm not paying $80 or whatever for a key when it could be had for free. And that's not against the law, by the way. Microsoft lets you do that. Anyway, next image. Okay, this is my buddy James. So he's got his what is that, Saconic light reader. Yeah, so we took a lot of pictures of just about everyone there that day, so this is nothing new to me. We were taking, here's the thing that happens, right? When you're a photographer, you're usually not the person who's getting their picture taken. So it was like, what ended up happening was we all were there and we all had cameras and we just trained them on each other. So what happened was everybody walked away with great pictures of one another. This is more or less like he's deep in thought, looking out into the distance at something nondescript. Who knows? Cool image. I like that. Okay, not the best image, definitely not. I think the focus should have been more on the foreground here as opposed to the city in the back. Also, the lighting's kind of like meh. This one's probably not going anywhere. Definitely not going in the portfolio. But yeah, well, I mean, this is the point of a live reaction, right? Not everything's gonna be gold. Nah, there's my cutie. There's Dingo. Yeah, hi Dingo. So I must have been wide open here. Look at the depth of field. I mean, the part of her that is in focus is like just like probably right there, and then everything else just tapers off immediately. I'm gonna guess I was at like 2.4. Definitely no more than that. Yeah, not much I can say about this one. The composition is, you know, it's just a picture of my dog. I mean, I could have taken this on my smartphone. Again, I was kind of trying to burn through this roll because between these photos being taken and that Providence trip, about a week and a half had gone by. And you're really not supposed to sit on a roll of Portra 400 or any Portra. It's professional grade film. It's really not meant to be locked up in a camera for months on end. Yeah, okay. So I'm a little overexposed here. But yeah, that's Dingo. Look at that little face. So that's Dingo. She was just slumped right here. This is a picture I would take in the Lightroom, and I would adjust the color a little bit. Not the color, the brightness and like contrast and stuff like that. Just to dull it down a little bit. Maybe crush the white a little bit. And you know, that's something for like my personal Instagram feed. Not something for the portfolio, but definitely a fun image. That is a much better image. Nice little side profile of her. And again, looking at the depth of field here, I mean, the front forehead is like the back part of her forehead is out of focus, and her ear is in focus. So this is like a distance of maybe 3 to 4 inches. So there's really a very narrow depth of field going on here. Like part of her arm, that's like her wrist, right? So like her wrist comes up and that's in focus. So that's like directly under her head, but then the paw's out of focus and the rest of the arm. Kind of a fun little exercise with how depth of field works here. I actually really like this picture. Whether or not it'd go in the portfolio, you know, probably not. But again, I think of all the images that were on this roll, this one's probably among the best, as well as this one right here. I really enjoy the color going on here. Okay, so that was Portra. Now we're going on to the 3 rolls of Ektar 100. I apologize, I did not really do any video when I was out shooting these. That's kind of why I'm doing a reaction video as opposed to like a day trip sort of thing, which is what I prefer. I prefer a day trip. I've just been a little busy with work and a little bit lazy as well. So this next album right here, okay, I'm loving where this is going. I can already see the thumbnails. It's making me happy. So this, for context, is up in Winsted, Connecticut. Winsted, northwest corner of Connecticut, kind of like not a farming community, but a very small rural community. Old Winsted had all these factories lining the main street of the town. I actually did a write-up on this on shootretro.com under the Pentax ME Blog. I'll try and, if I remember, I'll link that down in the description. I did a little write-up on this town because it's not the first time I shot here. So, loving this first shot. I mean, I probably would crop it in a little bit if I were to post that anywhere. But I'm loving how Ektar rendered this scene. And right when we took these pictures, it was probably around 6-7 o'clock at night. So it wasn't exactly peak golden hour. Sun setting is about 8:30 here, at least in the middle of summer here in Connecticut. It was still good lighting, don't get me wrong. We weren't at that moment just yet, but I think as we go on through this roll, you're gonna really start to see Ektar in some golden hour light. So moving on, I think this was a second attempt at that building. Oh, okay. Much better. Much better. This makes me so happy, this shot. I just have this, like, I told you before, right? So I have these themes of like these fishermen, but also it's like doors. I don't know why doors, but like doors. Like this is obviously it's like a fire escape on this old factory. I love how, especially on this building, this door had just stuck out. And there's just the contrast between it being in direct sunlight with like this somewhat cloudy sky behind it. I love it. I absolutely love this shot. This is absolutely portfolio worthy in my opinion. And again, I don't think I have to touch this one at all. Maybe I'll just add like a white border or whatever. But yeah, I think I was shooting at like a 7.1 f7.1 and a 1/250th shutter speed. Because that sun coming off the brick is quite bright. As you can see, the white here, I mean, it didn't blow out the details. We could still make out a doorknob. But yeah, man, oh, I'm a big fan of this shot here. I like it a lot. Cool. So this is looking through the window of a car quite clearly. This is an old Cadillac that was sat outside of a gas station / repair shop. This place always has cool cars sitting outside of it, and I noticed this is the second time I've shot here. It was new cars this time. So I think this guy or whoever, this lady, whoever the heck owns the shop, I think they do restoration or repair specifically on old cars. As I was walking past it, the exterior of this car is rough. It's just like gray. It kind of looks like it's all Bondo, but like Bondo colored, not actually Bondo. Props to you if you know what Bondo is. This shot right here made me want to shoot through car windows more, and I think in one of the later rolls we're going to see me attempting to do that more. But this is a cool shot. I definitely like it. This is the shop that I was talking about. Looks like I missed focus a little bit, not gonna lie. So it looks like I'm more or less focused on the sign as opposed to this stuff. I mean, I think I would have benefited from going up closer to this and maybe capturing just like, I can't really draw a square there, but like this section more. But yeah, not a terrible image, not going in the portfolio, but you know, still pretty cool. I do like the lighting though. The lighting is very interesting. Yeah, okay. So I knew when I took this picture that I was catching something kind of interesting. I was definitely there at the right time of day. This building, just the way it was positioned on the corner, perfectly bisected the light coming in. So on one side you have complete darkness and one side you have complete light, and it's kind of like compositionally there's a little too much going on in the photo other than the building, but it kind of is Edward Hopper-esque, right? Like with the lighting. When I saw the lighting hitting the building like that, I was like, that's cool. That kind of looks like something Edward Hopper would paint. Okay, yeah, definitely one of the not so great images on the roll. Man, when I took this photo, I thought it would turn out better, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I like what I did here with like the vegetation in front. I think the sunlight coming in and illuminating that's really cool. We have a little bit of flare going on up top here, but I think what really ruins this for me are two things. It's the more modern car and then this blue tarp. I just don't, those two things, if they weren't there, I think this would have been a lot better of an image. Yeah, not much I could say about this one. Yeah, money. Okay, so pumped this one turned out really good. The red on the GT right there is definitely more intense, at least than I remember. I don't even know what kind of car this is. It looks like it's Ford something, Ford GT. This was right in front of that Cadillac I had shown earlier. Yeah, look at that, halogen lights. GT, yeah, this is a really good image. That's definitely portfolio worthy. I think I made great use of the space up here, not giving away too much, framing everything down here. Almost looks a little underexposed down there at the bottom. You know, I can ignore that for the overall image. I think this looks pretty dang good, so I'm happy with that. Okay, yeah, just another shot of really intense sunlight on an old building. Yeah, I mean, I think I was at this point just kind of tired, wanted to burn through the roll. Yeah, I like this. So I'm not a big fan of the cars. I wish the cars weren't there, but there was this really odd building right on the main street. Cockeyed, it was not like flat against the road. I don't even know what this is. Is it a business? Is it a house? Does somebody live there? Who knows? The sunlight was hitting it pretty interestingly though. Oh, this was the last shot on the roll. This is the shot of this church with the light hitting it across the street. Now again, there's way too much going on with the wires in the image for it to be anything I would throw in a portfolio or project. Just a good example of trying to end the roll, which I wish I was a little bit more patient about. But overall, there's some bangers in there. I'm pretty. This is kind of the stuff I need to be seeing because I've been not exposing correctly on a lot of the rolls I've shot, just as part of the learning curve that comes with medium format. And I've got to say, this is looking pretty good. Looks like I've been learning a bit. This right here is my buddy's dog. I believe that's Jackson. And this is the first shot of the day. So these three rolls of Ektar all were shot in the same day. I'm sorry, they were shot in 2 separate days. The ones we just saw were the Winstead trip. These next 2, we were down in a neighboring town near me, and we were exploring an old rail yard. I like this shot. So I took this picture just because of the colors of the buildings. And there was just kind of like a lot going on. We'll have to see how this one turns out. Maybe if I throw a little bit of a border on there, it will become a little bit more interesting. But overall, I think I did what I set out to do. I really wanted to capture the color. The color of these buildings was very interesting. Like I said, I told you guys before, I'm very interested in random doors or doors that are in direct sunlight. And here we are again doing the exact same thing. Just another image of this industrial building with this old fire escape going up to this second tier here. I definitely have to adjust the lighting and contrast in this image a little bit. It's a little too hot, but I think with a little bit of adjustment, we'll be okay. This image, it's nothing spectacular. However, I revisited this spot because way back on one of my first rolls I shot in the 6x7 was at this location, and I blew the roll and I was really upset, and I kind of just wanted to come back here to prove that I could, get the focus, get the exposure right. I hate this freaking propane tank. I hated it when I took the picture, but I took it just because the lighting was really awesome. So I might have to go back here for a third time to really get the shot that I wanted. So this is my buddy Alex. As you can see here, what we're looking at is Ektar 100 skin tones. So this is not exactly how his skin looks. He's a little bit more pasty. I really enjoy this image. So I love how the lighting just like kind of cuts his face right there. Even his lashes are kind of getting lit up by some sunlight there. This is a great image. I'm sure he'll be happy to see that. This is a picture of my friend Jack. This is actually Alex's brother. So yeah, okay, so here's the thing, right? So like I said before, Ektar's skin tones are really like not true to color. Again, he's a bit more pasty than this image is letting on. It's a pretty decent picture of him. I don't know if this would be something I put in my portfolio. However, it's definitely something he would put on like his Tinder, which was purely his request. That's not me just making that up. He said, I need pictures for my Tinder profile. And I said, I got you. I don't know. This is like a little too dramatic for Tinder. I think you want to smile if you have a Tinder profile. Yeah, okay. This is a little bit better. I wish I had focused a little bit better on this tree right here, but overall, not a terrible shot. Definitely have done worse. I know there's one more shot coming up here. I think will look a little bit better. Yeah, okay. So this is more or less in line with what I was saying before when I blew a roll here. So there's just a lot going on in this image. What caught my eye was like this old farm thing. I think you sit on that. It's like some sort of plow. What kills me is this little fence post here. This ruins the whole image for me. Everything else is interesting. Without this fence post and these bushes being here, I think we would have had a much more interesting image. This I like a lot. So this is the final image on the roll. This could be like 1,000 different locations. Now we're down in the rail yard that I told you guys about. Wow, this is like so saturated. That is really saturated with color, and like the green against this white tank that's rusting. Yeah, that could go in my portfolio. I'm allowing that one. The bushes are like hugging these tanks. It's like kind of like nature reclaiming itself. So repossessing its own land, just getting rid of these man-made things as, some of our waste rots away. Now, coming up on the last roll, and I think this last roll is going to have this last roll here of Ektar is going to have some of the better images of the bunch. This is the final roll I shot. So this shot right here. Yeah, okay, that's nice. So this is like the exit, or like the way you get down to and from this rail yard we were in. It's like underneath the highway. We were there at like peak golden hour, so it's super golden lighting. Ektar rendered it perfectly. I just liked how this tiny little road kind of pointed straight up the main street of the town. Big fan of that. Whether or not it goes in the portfolio or not, I keep saying that a lot, but who knows? This I like a lot. Okay, yeah, so like I said, love my shots of doors. I wish the trespassing sign wasn't there. We didn't go inside, obviously, but yeah, the lighting hitting this was fantastic. So I'd probably straighten this image out a wee bit, but other than that, big fan of this one. Big fan. This is the shot of like a cab on one of those machinery things that goes on railroad tracks. Not a train, but it's like a maintenance machine for the train itself. I saw the Joy-Cons in there from like a distance, and I was like, I'm gonna try and get a shot of that. So that's what I did here. And I believe I did the same thing with the next one. Yeah, that's cool. So this was a little tricky. I think I missed focus by a hair. The reason I did was because I was hanging by one hand off the side of this thing, holding the Pentax in the other hand. So I was holding with my left hand onto this thing, taking the picture with the Pentax, and then looking through the eye hole, adjusting focus when I could. So, you know, I'd say it turned out pretty dang good. This part of the image here is in focus, so you know what, that's passable for me. And this too, again, love these images of like cabs and like work areas. So another beautiful shot. You got the sun poking through right here, reflecting off everything, bouncing around on this handle here. Oh, this is all good stuff. I'm a real big fan of this. Like this one a lot. Definitely going in the portfolio. So we were down on the tracks here, just posing with this lawn chair that was hanging about there. This is an interesting portrait of Alex. He's just kind of being a boss, sitting there on the tracks. But again, Ektar with those skin tones, man. I'm starting to like it less for that. Little put off by it because it's super intense. This is a picture of Jack. Definitely overexposed on this one, but can be saved. So Jack is looking pretty upset in this picture, so I don't know if he's gonna like this one, but it is pretty funny. Whoa, okay. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. Oh, dude. Okay, I was just talking about this. When you're the photographer, like, you never have good pictures taken of you. Everything about this image is just like awesome. I'm just like off in thought. This is going straight to my Instagram like tonight. This is going right on there. I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm not gonna do that. So the angle my head was at, just the hands, everything. This is a great shot. This was taken by my friend Alex. He was about 20 feet away, 15 to 20 feet away from me. This is one of the last shots in the roll. This is me again, taking the shot. This is of a red boxcar. This is like I believe the brake system on these old cars. There's like a giant flywheel you just turned, and it like somehow mechanically does its thing to stop it. I actually have no idea. I'm just pulling this out my ass, but I loved how the lighting was hitting this, and I think it did make good use of the negative space here as well. I didn't give too much. I might need to crop in a little bit because this little thing right here, and maybe straighten out the image. But other than that, this final image right here, nice, cool. So that almost doesn't even, you almost can't even tell what that is at first. This is the side of a rail car. You can see the top. Oh, this is gonna be so good. This is banner material right here for like the website. I loved how this was rendering on like the side of the rail car itself when I was walking by. And I have to say, it looks more vibrant than it did when I walked by. This was more faded in person than I remember it, at least how I'm seeing it right here. And I'm noticing some things about it too, like how it's been repainted. I didn't know that when I first took the image. I kind of just snapped it because I was like, oh, this texture is so cool. I freaking love texture in images, and rust is like a classic. Another one I really enjoy is burlap, but there's no burlap here. But the riveting on the boxcar, it's actually a gondola, the car that I'm looking at. It's a gondola. The riveting is so cool. And the fact that it's like riveted all the way around this like square, there's just so much symmetry going on here. I'm there for it. I'm a big fan. And just like that, we have concluded the images. If you've made it this far into this very long video, thank you so much for sticking around. This is Shoot Retro. It's just a space for film on the internet. My name's Hunter. I'll be making videos like this basically until I'm bored of doing it. So who knows how long it's going to be for. Hopefully, a good amount of people start following me here so I could, be a little bit more inspired to keep up a good pace for uploading. But like I said, this is entirely a hobby for me. I do this to stay busy on my time away from work, to stay active in the video production, film, photography community. I'm just in a time of being very inspired by other people's work, so I also want to share the creative process with people. Please subscribe, stick around, comment, like, let me know if you shoot videos and also go about doing film photography, because if you're from New England, hey, maybe we can hang out sometime. Who knows? I mean, as long as you don't try and kidnap me or kill me, which I won't allow. But hey, you could still try. But don't try. That'd be bad. Don't do that. All right. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.